He's James Clubber Lang from Chicago's South Side, a brutal, self-made heavyweight who trains like an animal while Rocky coasts on hand-picked challengers, knocking out the champ in 2 rounds, stealing his belt, then losing it in the rematch after punching himself into exhaustion. After Rocky IV shows a highlight of his defeat, he vanishes from strict film canon. No childhood, no future, no epilogue. But the extended canon paints a much darker, uglier picture of where this man came from. According to the novelization, guidebooks, and Rocky legends, Lang lost both parents young, bounced between orphanages and the streets of Southside Chicago, drifted into petty crime, then into serious assaults, landing in juvenile lockups before eventually ending up in adult prison for felony aggravated assault. Some editions even say he killed another inmate with his bare hands, the kind of detail that explains his volcanic rage as much as it condemns him. In prison, he discovered boxing, using it as a pressure valve for the bottled-up fury eating him alive. In Rocky Legends, his story literally starts inside the Chicago State Penitentiary, brawling an inmate in a makeshift ring before being released. He emerges into the boxing world as a raw, terrifying southpaw heavyweight, 237 pounds of pure hostility, nicknamed Clubber and the Southside Slugger, with a fight record of 90-2, 88 by knockout. The man is described across tie-ins as egotistical, rude, dangerously prideful, and openly contemptuous of promoters, opponents, the press, and basically anyone who doesn't worship the ground he stomps. He insults Rocky, calls Apollo a has-been, taunts Adrian, and carries himself like street royalty. The crazy part is that fans love to insist he was based on Mike Tyson, except the timelines make that physically impossible. Rocky III came out in 1982. Tyson didn't debut until 1985. Tyson was literally a 14-year-old kid when Clubber Lang hit theaters. Stallone based Lang on George Foreman's destructive power, Sonny Liston's criminal menace, and Larry Holmes-era chip-on-the-shoulder bitterness. He trains alone with no entourage, no flashy gyms, no circus, just raw, brutal self-discipline. After Rocky III, the films never mention him again. Semi-canon guidebooks imply he kept fighting for a while, but nothing official details his post-Rocky life. An early draft of Rocky Balboa almost brought him back as a reformed, born-again Christian TV commentator, but money killed the idea. Rocky III's behind-the-scenes stories are just as wild. This was Mr. T's film debut, chosen out of 1,200 auditions. Sylvester Stallone knew he had to shake things up for Rocky III because after 2 movies of underdog grit and triumphant fist-pumping montages, the franchise needed a villain who didn't just challenge Rocky Balboa, it needed someone who would practically break the film in half. And Stallone found exactly that when he tried to visit Leon Spinks before his title fight with Muhammad Ali in 1978, only to be stopped dead in his tracks by a mountain of muscle named Mr. T, who was guarding Spinks's dressing room like a pit bull with a vendetta. Stallone told him who he was, but Mr. T didn't care if he was the star of Rocky and Rambo. If Leon didn't give the green light, Sly wasn't getting through that door. Mr. T later recalled, "I didn't let Stallone in. Unless Leon told me you were coming in, celebrity or not, you ain't getting in." And instead of being offended, Stallone respected the hell out of him. 2 years later, Stallone sees Mr. T on America's Toughest Bouncers, tossing full-grown men around like inflatable toys, and right there he knows, this is Clubber Lang, the human freight train who's going to turn Rocky Balboa into a smear on the canvas. And Stallone immediately clicks with him because both men crawled up from the bottom of society with broken fingernails and chipped teeth. Stallone had been homeless, eating scraps, selling his dog to afford food, fighting for his place in Hollywood. Mr. T clawed his way out of the Chicago projects, working security, breaking up bar fights, and building himself into a living action figure. Once filming began, though, the casting directors panicked because Mr. T wasn't acting. He was just being a barely contained explosion of rage wrapped in gold chains and muscle. Their brilliant idea? Send the man to acting school, smooth out those edges, refine him like a diamond. Stallone nearly had an aneurysm and shut that down instantly. Mr. T remembers him stepping in and saying, "No, don't touch him. You touch him, you're going to mess him up. I want his rawness." Stallone understood that Clubber Lang wasn't supposed to be polished. He was pure, unfiltered intimidation, the kind of guy who doesn't just enter a room, he enters like he's kicking the door off its hinges. Mr. T was so intense that when he attended the film's premiere with his mother, she stormed out during the scene where he makes obscene comments toward Adrian, telling him afterward, "I did not raise you to talk to a lady like that." You know you've done your job as an actor when your own mother disowns you mid-premiere.